Good evening, everyone. Happy Labor Day. If you traded today, I hope you had a green day. For me, I did not. I'm just going to go over how I got my daily plan that I posted today. This is my stock twits, where I post my daily plan every morning, as well as what I am interpreting through the footprint and the TPO charts throughout the day. So if we start with what I posted first, I kind of try to break down step by step what I was looking at through all my charts. So first up was TPO, and step one was what did Globex do, where's value, and are we trading inside or outside of value? So let's talk about that first. Let's bring up my TPO chart. And in the mornings when I'm looking at my TPO chart, I'm looking at this, which was our overnight session, and this, which is yesterday or Friday session. Most of the time it's the overnight session and then the day before, but in this instance, Thursday came into play as well, and I will show why. So these lines, as you can see here, they're marked, these upper and lower blue line on each of the sessions. That is, the top one's value area high, bottom's value area low. Therefore, inside of this is value. Price likes to trade inside value. It likes to chop. That's when you tend to have the choppiest, most whipsaw action is inside of value, and you'll have more directional moves outside of value. So, where does this come into the daily plan? Well, coming into the morning, we were trading inside value, not only inside of the overnight's value, but inside of the previous day's value. So again, Friday, unlike most days tend to be balanced days. That would be spoken about in the future. But it was very one-directional towards the end of the day. We had a nice sell-off. So with a sharp sell-off as we had these single prints. This is ugly market structure. I believe I spoke about it in my last video. The market likes to price. I apologize. Likes to trade back into single prints and low volume areas left behind, and kind of clean up that structure is what we call it. So going back to the plan, we were trading inside the previous 2 days value. So personally, I'm not interested in trading inside of this balance area. I don't so much count Friday's action as a balance area just because of how far off the value areas are, and just the prints. But you could see a nice defined little D shape, or a lowercase b rather, from Thursday. We have value built in here, trading in it. So I want to be trading underneath the value, or if we could accept over the value. So that was step one, just looking at this, knowing that we're trading inside of value, and kind of be on the sidelines. So that was step one for me. Now I'll bring back up my stock twits, and now I went to the footprint, the transacted volume, and this is on the 30-minute chart. Should be able to see from here, but just in case, I will load this up here. Bear with me. All right. One second, I apologize. All right, I'll just clean this up a little bit. Oh, there we are. And now let's look at what I was looking at this morning, which was this. This was the overnight session. Let me go like this. There we are. And you can see the overnight session coming into a holiday. Very boring action. I think we had like about a 20-point range. But what I asked in my stock twits post, what I wanted people to pay attention to was where sellers positioned, where buyers positioned, and try to imagine where the stop losses would be. These are things that provide good trading opportunities and locations. And if we're looking, the green imbalances are buying imbalances, and the red is selling. So with this little range, you could see towards the top of all this we had selling imbalances, and the bottom we had buyers supporting and just chopping in between both of them, having buyers and sellers kind of fight until someone won. And why is this important? Well, think about what happens when we breach under stop losses. What happens? Stops are hit, and that provides the market with enough liquidity to reverse. So looking at this maybe in real time or a real how this actually played out, you can see we could have, or we did have, relative equal lows all through here, and we had a dip below here. Candle closed above the majority of the volume, which was here. Next candle comes down, huge buying imbalance, and that provides a move up. So essentially what I'm looking for is just pushes above these support, or below the support and above this resistance, and that's going to trigger stop losses. And on the footprint, it allows us to see that there is a buying imbalance and gives us the confidence to enter those trades rather than just taking them blindly. It may sound like a lot or seem like a lot, but this is something that you just instantly look at. Oh, stops are here. These were buyers are positioned. These were sellers are positioned. That's it. Now, for step 3, I'll bring this back down again. I brought up the daily chart, bigger time frame, and here you should be cognizant of where sellers are positioned. You see this big volume node right here of sellers, and also where buyers. See, we have a thin volume node here, not too much volume, but there are buyers present. So if we're going to come down into this area, we do want to see them add to the position. Now, the delta right here is what helps us see if larger market participants, are active and adding to positions. So what this all means is this 11,400 or 11,046 right here. There is 11,046 more contracts done over here. More people bought than sold over here. And so if we were coming down into this buying imbalance and we're looking to go long, well, this, once it comes down into this area, this number is going to start to get smaller, maybe 10,000, 9,000. And as we pull back up here, we're going to want to see this get past this 11,000, so maybe 12, 13. So it's bigger than it was when it was at 11. I hope that makes sense, but that is how we see if buyers or sellers are active, is because they are adding to the position. Now, if we were looking to go short, if price was trading over here, we have this negative 9,400, and when we pulled into this 8,100, we want to see them chip away at this delta, become 7,000, 6,000, pull back up, maybe pull back down again, and then 4, 3, and that's them chipping away at this delta. This is sellers adding to their position, not only adding to this position, but now they're working their way down on the tape. It's very important to know and keep track of when you're in key areas that you would like to be active in. Now, putting it all together, this ended up being my plan. A very simple plan, probably end up being the same for tomorrow since it was a holiday today. But same buy area as there was the other day. And I had this little sell area. This sell area, as you can see, I was cautious about it because in this area I figured it priced to be very choppy, and I'll go over why. And then I also had this sell area up top from 40.20 to 40.25, which ended up being the high of the day on Friday. Essentially just looking for these highs to be ran, stop losses taken, and a good move to the downside. So why did I expect, or why do I expect price to be choppy once we get into the area that I was just talking about? I believe it'll be easier if I change this to a 4-hour chart once more. So my audio might cut out as this loads. 1 second. Alrighty, there we are. So this is a 4-hour chart, and you can see I do have the single prints in these baby blue extending rectangles. Those were the single prints that we saw from the TPO chart together. So I'm expecting price to come back in here and fill those single prints. Now on initial test over here, we have sellers active right here, so we're going to want to see that this selling imbalance right here is pushed just above, run all these seller stops, fill the structure, and we'll get a pullback. And that should, as long as the tape confirms while we're actually trading in there, provide a good trade location. So price is going to bounce around over here. There's a lot of single prints, obviously, as we know, and then just looking up on smaller time frame footprints, you can see there's a lot of volume gaps. You see, like right here, very low volume, only 9,000 done on either side, the bid and the ask. When above, we have 31,000, 29,000, 14, and 15,000. So this is called the volume gap, and price usually moves fast through it, and then I'll trade and fill it out. So that's why I'm expecting to be choppy here, even into this sell zone, which I'm not too thrilled about. I don't see myself even initiating a trade up here, maybe until it's on the higher end where we do have these sellers active and this chunk of volume. So maybe we see these sellers move down, these sellers become active once more. So I hope that makes sense. If not, please leave a comment or email me. I leave my email in the description. Reach out to me on StockTwits. I always respond to everyone who has a question. I ask or implore that everyone asks questions because I know I'm not the best at articulating what I'm trying to get through. But another little thing I dropped here, this is a 4-hour chart, and we saw a zero print down here. And what a zero print means, or this was, before I touch on that, this is the overnight session on a clean chart. You see these relative equal lows that I was talking about. I kind of marked them here, and we had a dip below, meaning all that buying imbalance that we saw before from the overnight session. Jesus. All these participants got their stops ran, and we have a zero print, and then an explosive move up. Okay, so what does zero print mean? As sellers are working their way down or buyers are working their way up, they have to do transact volume. So if you want a price to keep on going down, you need sellers to be active all the way down. And as you could see, we were selling down, selling, and then we have a zero print. What a zero print is exhaustion. Sellers cannot put a print down here. There's no one's willing to do business down here. No one's willing to transact shares. Therefore, the market must reverse and look for where there are more active participants. And where are more active participants? Above highs, where are stop losses? That's where the most liquidity is. That's all the market does, is go from one liquidity zone to the next, looking to run people's stops, pick up larger time frame participants, and repeat and repeat and repeat. So yeah, that's how I got everything for my daily plan. I hope I made sense. If not, again, please just let me know and I will try and do a better job of it. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Tuesday. Should be a fun day after the long weekend. See you then.